Welcome to our session on the current affairs. In this session, we shall be discussing about the current events that were taken place in the previous week from 13th of November till 19th of November 2023. So, in this week of current affairs, we shall be discussing about some national news as well as some international news, and also we shall be discussing about the states that were in news in the last week, and we shall also be discussing about some summits and conferences that have been taken place, and the awards ceremonies and book releases and conferences that have been taken place, and other related information that took place in the previous week from 13th of November to 19th of November. So, let us start off our discussion on the weekly current affairs. The first topic that we are going to discuss today is geographical indication tag. So, the Uttarakhand's unique products were awarded geographical indication tag. So, what exactly is the geographical indication tag? In a significant recognition of Uttarakhand's rich and diverse cultural heritage, the Geographical Indications Registry has bestowed or awarded the coveted or the well-renowned GI tags upon more than 15 products from the state. More than 15 products from the state of Uttarakhand were awarded the prestigious GI tag. These GI tags are awarded by the Geographical Indications Registry or GI Registry. These products range from traditional teas to textiles and pulses, and these products, they reflect the cultural significance of Uttarakhand, and also they hold immense economic potential for the state. So, let us take a look at the various products which have received the geographical indication tag. To start off with, the Berry Nag tea or Himalayan elegance in every sip. Berry Nag tea of Uttarakhand has received the GI tag. So, what exactly is Berry Nag tea? Berry Nag tea, which is crafted from the leaves of a plant that strives in the Himalayan wilderness, has earned a spot on the list. So, the unique process of compressing the leaves into a solid mass sets this tea apart. Widely sought after by the London tea houses and blenders, Berry Nag tea showcases the region's expertise in the art of tea making. So, Berry Nag tea has also been awarded the GI tag by the GI Registry. It is very famous across the world, and especially the London tea houses and the blenders, they import these leaves, tea leaves, and they import this Berry Nag tea to sell in their respective countries. Berry Nag tea showcases the region's expertise or the expertise of Uttarakhand state in the art of tea making. So, Berry Nag tea is the first product that has received the GI tag. The next product is Bichu Booty Fabrics, sustainable fashion from Himalayan nettles. So, Bichu Booty Fabrics from Uttarakhand state has received the GI tag. These fabrics are famous for sustainable fashion. So, Uttarakhand's Berry Nag tea. The third important product that has received the GI tag is Uttarakhand Mandua, a staple delight. So, what exactly is this Uttarakhand Mandua? Uttarakhand Mandua is a finger millet known as Mandua. It has been an integral part of the local diet in Garhwal and also Kumaon regions of Uttarakhand. So, this acknowledgement with a GI tag has underscored or underlined the significance of Uttarakhand Mandua as a staple food item, marking its distinctiveness or uniqueness in terms of taste and also cultural significance. So, Uttarakhand Mandua, which is a staple delight in Uttarakhand's Kumaon and Garhwal regions, has also received the prestigious GI tag. The fourth important product is Jangora. Jangora is also famous as the Himalayan millet marvel. So, it is yet another homegrown millet. It is local to Uttarakhand region, Jangora. It is found in the rain-fed areas of the Himalayas in Uttarakhand region, and now it is awarded the GI tag. This recognition highlights the unique characteristics and strengthens its identity as a valuable local produce. So, Uttarakhand Jangora, famous as the Himalayan millet marvel, was also awarded the GI tag. Gahat, a medicinal pulse of Uttarakhand. Gahat, which is a medicinal pulse of Uttarakhand, was also awarded the GI tag. What is Gahat? Gahat is a crucial pulse which thrives in the dry regions of Uttarakhand. It was also awarded or granted the GI tag. It has some known medicinal uses which are documented in the Ayurveda and traditional medicines also. Gahat is not only a culinary delight, but also it is a testament to the state's traditional knowledge of medicine. So, Gahat is not only used for culinary or food making, but it is also used as one of the traditional medicinal knowledges of Uttarakhand. So, Gahat, which is the medicinal pulse of Uttarakhand, was also awarded the GI tag. Uttarakhand Lal Chawal, organically grown gem. Uttarakhand Lal Chawal was also awarded the GI tag. Organically grown in Purola region of Uttarakhand, Lal Chawal, which is nothing but red rice variant, now proudly carries the GI tag. This award or this recognition further emphasizes the uniqueness and the speciality of this locally cultivated or organically grown rice variety known as Lal Chawal. Lal Chawal is a rice variety which is grown organically in the Purola region of Uttarakhand, was also awarded the GI tag. So, Uttarakhand Lal Chawal. Diverse range of recognition. The list of GI tagged products from Uttarakhand, which we discussed just a while ago, is extensive, covering a spectrum of items. This GI list of products covers a very wide range of products and items such as Uttarakhand Kala Bhat, which is black soybean, and Malta fruit, Chulai or Ramdana grain for fasting days, Buranch juice from rhododendron arboreum flowers, Pahadi tuvar dal, Uttarakhand likhai or wood carvings, Nainital mombatti or candles, Kumaun's Rangwali pichoda, Ramnagar Nainital lichis, Ramgarh Nainital peaches, Chamoli wooden Ramman masks, and Almora Lakori mirchis, a distinctive chili variant. So, these are the various other products or items that were also awarded the GI tag by the GI registry. It is a culmination of culture and also economic or commerce importance. These awards or GI tags, which were awarded to a diverse range of products and items from Uttarakhand, ranging from textiles to food to tea to other products, displays or it shows a culmination of not only cultural significance but also immense commerce and economic potential. The award or the conferment of GI tags on these diverse range of products is not only meant for celebrating the Uttarakhand's cultural diversity, but it is also opening up new avenues or new opportunities for economic growth and also commercial development. These products and items, now they are recognized by the GI tags on a global scale, are poised to contribute significantly to the state's identity or to the identity of the Uttarakhand on a global scale, and also in terms of economic growth, ensuring the legacy for generations to come. So, these diverse range of products, after getting recognized or awarded with the GI tags, have become popular at the global scale, and which is poised to contribute significantly not only to the economic growth but also for the development of commerce, and also in terms of continuing the legacy of rich cultural heritage of Uttarakhand region. Moving on to the next topic, the national affairs that were in news in the recent week or previous week. More than 22 lakh diyas were illuminated on the banks of the Sarayu river in Uttar Pradesh, Ayodhya. During the 7th edition of D.A.O, during the 7th edition of the D.A.O event that was conducted very recently in Ayodhya on the banks of Sarayu river, over 22 lakh diyas were illuminated. by the state government. This has set a new world record for lighting a very large number of diyas or lamps simultaneously at one place. So this feat or this event was recognized as a new world record for illuminating over 22 lakh diyas on the banks of Sarayu River, which was conducted on the occasion of Deepotsav event on the banks of the Sarayu River very recently. So this happened in Ayodhya region of Uttar Pradesh on the banks of Sarayu River. 22 lakh diyas were illuminated, and this has set off a new world record. Also in news was Prime Minister Narendra Modi has recently launched PM PVTG Development Mission. Prime Minister Particularly Vulnerable Tribal Groups Development Mission. This was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi very recently. This is a groundbreaking initiative or a scheme which is aimed at fostering the comprehensive development or aiming for comprehensive and holistic development of approximately 28 lakh people belonging to particularly vulnerable tribal groups, or also known as PVTGs. These PVTGs are tribal groups. So over 28 lakh people belonging to PVTG groups are going to get benefited out of this scheme called as PM PVTG Development Mission, launched by PM Narendra Modi very recently. This significant event is scheduled to coincide with the birth anniversary that is celebrated, which is a celebration of the revered tribal freedom fighter Birsa Munda, which is also observed as Janajatiya Gaurav Divas for the past 3 years. So for the past 3 years, Janajatiya Gaurav Divas is celebrated on the occasion of the birth anniversary of tribal freedom fighter Birsa Munda belonging to Jharkhand. A park cum freedom fighter museum in Ranchi was also established. A park cum freedom fighter museum was also established in Ranchi in the memory of Janajatiya Gaurav Divas, that is celebrated on the occasion of birth anniversary of freedom fighter Birsa Munda. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has recently addressed the Indo-Pacific Regional Dialogue. Indo-Pacific Regional Dialogue that was recently concluded in New Delhi. It was addressed by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. This Indo-Pacific Regional Dialogue has addressed India's remarkable economic growth trajectory in the midst of ongoing global and economic challenges and other uncertainties. So this Indo-Pacific Regional Dialogue has showcased the India's growth story or India's growth trajectory in the midst of the ongoing global and regional uncertainties. Finance Minister has also predicted that by 2027, India would surpass or overtake Japan and Germany to become the world's third largest economy, which also underlines the resilience of the Indian economy amid global uncertainties. So, Indo-Pacific Regional Dialogue that was held very recently in New Delhi, and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has addressed this session. In a remarkable initiative, 2 solar-powered mini cruise ships are set to commence operations in the sacred Sarayu River in Ayodhya. 2 solar-powered mini cruise ships are set to become operational on the banks or in the river Sarayu in Ayodhya, just ahead of the inauguration of the Ram Mandir or Ram Temple in January next year. The inauguration of the Ram Mandir or Ram Temple is scheduled for January next year. So just before that, or on the occasion of this, 2 cruise missiles or 2 mini cruise ships, solar powered mini cruise ships were become operational on the Sarayu River in Ayodhya. Varanasi based Alakananda Cruise under the leadership of Director Vikas Malaviya will pioneer or will take up this unique service, providing an immersive experience which is centered around the life and also the teachings of Lord Ram. The introduction of solar powered cruise ships known as Ramayana vessels along the Sarayu river represents a harmonious blend of not only the tradition or culture but also of modernity and technology. So, 2 solar powered mini cruise ships were operational in the Sarayu river of Ayodhya. In a significant development, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal announced that the Indian Patent Office has achieved an unprecedented milestone by granting a record-breaking 41,000 patents in the current fiscal year of 23-24 up till November 15. This remarkable figure is contrasting with the 2013-14 fiscal year when only 4,000 plus patents were granted. In comparison to the 2013-2014 data, the Indian Patent Office has received only 4,227 patents that were granted by the office. But in the fiscal year 23-24, more than 41,000 patents were granted by the Indian Patent Office until November 15. So, this is a remarkable milestone. This is a very significant achievement by the Indian Patent Office. Next in news is the states that were in news. States that were in news in the recent week. Uttarakhand is on the brink of making history as it prepares to become the first state in India to implement the Uniform Civil Code. Uttarakhand will become the first state in the Indian Union to implement or to operationalize the Uniform Civil Code in India. In a move towards legal uniformity and gender equality, the Uttarakhand state government is set to convene a special session of the Assembly after Diwali to clear the UCC bill. So, Uttarakhand state government is planning to introduce this UCC bill in the Assembly and also to get it passed in the session of Assembly that is scheduled to convene after Diwali. This marks a significant departure from the diverse personal laws that are currently governing the citizens based on the respective religious affiliations. So, Uttarakhand state government is credited with coming up with the operationalization of the first Uniform Civil Code in Indian Union. In a significant move towards educational reforms, the Assam cabinet has given its in principle nod for the merger of Secondary Education Board of Assam or SEBA, Secondary Education Board of Assam, and the Assam Higher Secondary Education Council. So, Assam state government has decided to merge these two boards, Secondary Education Board of Assam and Assam Higher Secondary Education Council. This merger or this amalgamation entity will now be called as the Assam State School Education Board. After the merger of these two entities, the newly established organization will be called as Assam State School Education Board. This decision is taken to enhance or to increase the quality and also the standards of the school education in the state of Assam. So, this merger of two entities and the establishment of a new organization called Assam State School Education Board is done keeping in mind to improve the quality and also the standards of school education in the state of Assam. So, the state of Assam was also in news for this reason. Kochi, which is a vibrant city in the Indian state of Kerala, has earned a prestigious spot on Condé Nast Travelers list of best places to visit in Asia in 2024. Condé Nast Travelers list of the best places to visit in Asia 2024, in which Kochi, which is a vibrant city in the Indian state of Kerala, has been awarded a place. So, Condé Nast Travelers list of best places to visit in 2024 in which Kochi has also received a place. That's why Kochi, a city of Indian state of Kerala, was also in news. Some of the international news that were in news in the previous week. International affairs. The joint Arab-Israeli Extraordinary Summit. The joint Arab and Israeli Extraordinary Summit, which took place in Riyadh or Saudi Arabia on Saturday, November 11, 2023. This event or this summit was concluded on November 12, 2023. The summit was convened to address the escalating Israeli aggression against the Palestinian people. Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and Prime Minister has opened the summit by welcoming the leaders and representatives from the member states of Organization of Islamic Cooperation (OIC) and the League of Arab States. So the Organization of Islamic Cooperation members and the members belonging to the League of Arab States have participated in the Arab-Israeli Extraordinary Summit, which was recently concluded in Riyadh of Saudi Arabia. This summit has tried to address the escalating tensions that are arising out of the Israeli bombardment or aggression on the Palestinian region. So this is one of the international affairs that was in news very recently. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar embarks on a 5-day official visit to the United Kingdom. So Dr. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister of India, is scheduled to visit the United Kingdom on a 5-day official tour. This visit aims at strengthening the bilateral partnership or relations between the two countries, marked by a warm and thriving relationship. So this visit is aimed at further strengthening the bilateral relationship between the two countries. The Iceland Meteorological Office or the Iceland Met Office has issued a stark warning of a considerable likelihood of a volcanic eruption in the coming days, following a series of seismic events that have rattled the country. This seismic activity has prompted the declaration of a state of emergency in Iceland. The Iceland government has recently declared a state of emergency in Iceland. Why? Because the Iceland Met Office has recently issued a warning regarding the considerable likelihood of a volcanic eruption or a volcanic activity following a series of seismic events that have rattled the country. So a state of emergency was declared in the country of Iceland for a volcanic activity or for the likelihood of a volcanic eruption in the country. Also in news was Spain. Why? Because in Spain, in the recently concluded parliamentary elections, Pedro Sanchez has secured a second term as Prime Minister after the recently concluded elections. Pedro Sanchez of Spain is set to become the second term Prime Minister of Spain. Navigating the political landscape with a razor-thin majority, the focal point of this victory in the recently concluded elections was centered around an amnesty deal for the Catalonian separatists, a move which is popularized or polarized the nation but strategically garnered the necessary votes that are required for lawmakers in the country's north to gain the majority and also to win the elections. So Pedro Sanchez of Spain has secured a second term of prime ministership in the country in the recently concluded elections. So Spain was also in news in the international affairs in the recent week. The Northeast Bay of Bengal. The Northeast Bay of Bengal is currently under the influence of a cyclonic storm which is named as the Northeast Bay of Bengal is currently under the influence of a cyclonic storm named as Midli, causing wider widespread concern and disruptions in the region. The governmental authorities in several northeastern states of Indian Union have issued alerts and warnings following substantial rainfall, and the impact of storm has been felt across various regions, affecting not only the daily life but also cultural events. So, cyclonic storm Midili in the northeast Bay of Bengal, and several northeast states in the Indian Union have also issued alerts in view of the substantial rainfall and the impact of storm that was felt in many regions in the states. Cyclonic storm Midili was also in news. Welcome to our session on the current affairs. In this session, we shall be discussing about the current events that were taken place in the previous week from 13th of November. Agreements and MOUs that were signed very recently. India has taken a significant step towards the development of high quality urban infrastructure by way of signing a $400 million policy based loan agreement with the Asian Development Bank. So, the Indian government has recently signed a policy based loan agreement with the Asian Development Bank for $400 million. So, the agreement that was signed between the Indian government and the Asian Development Bank is aimed at improving the service delivery and promoting efficient governance systems in the urban areas in India. It also underscores the nation's commitment, the commitment of the Indian government to fostering or to enhancing the planned and sustainable urbanization in India. Agreements and MOUs that were signed very recently in the last week. India has taken a significant step towards the development of high quality urban infrastructure by way of signing a $400 million policy based loan agreement with the Asian Development Bank. So, the Indian government has recently signed a policy based loan agreement with the Asian Development Bank for $400 million. So, the agreement that was signed between the Indian government and the Asian Development Bank is aimed at improving the service delivery and promoting efficient governance systems in the urban areas in India. It also underscores the nation's commitment, the commitment of the Indian government to fostering or to enhancing the planned and sustainable urbanization in India. So, recently the Indian government and the Asian Development Bank has signed an agreement which is a policy based loan agreement for $400 million, which is essentially aimed at promoting efficient governance systems and also to improve service delivery in the urban areas in India. This also underscores or highlights the Government of India's commitment to enhancing the planned and sustainable urbanization, growth and development in India. So, the policy based loan agreement between the Indian government and the Asian Development Bank was also in news very recently. Also in news was the India and the United States, which has taken a significant step to boost the collaboration between the two countries among the startups and also to promote innovation through a memorandum of understanding MOU that was signed very recently in San Francisco of United States. So, the Government of India and the Government of United States have recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding in America. This MOU was signed basically to boost or to further improve the collaboration among the startups and also to promote the innovation in both the countries. This partnership or this Memorandum of Understanding established under the framework of the India-United States Commercial Dialogue. So, this Memorandum of Understanding was signed between both the countries under the framework of India-United States Commercial Dialogue. This framework aims at enhancing innovation ecosystems and also to address regulatory challenges in the startup landscape in both the countries. So, this Memorandum of Understanding between India and the United States was signed under the framework of the India-United States Commercial Dialogue, and this framework will enhance the innovation partnership or the innovation in the ecosystems of startups and also tries to address the regulatory challenges in the startup landscape of both the countries. So, this Memorandum of Understanding between India and United States was also in news very recently. Some of the books that were released in the recent past and the authors of those books. Vice President of India Jagdeep Dhankad has recently released a book by the title Building Partnership, India and International Cooperation for Maritime Security. The title of the book is Building Partnership, India and International Cooperation for Maritime Security. So, the name of the book is Building Partnership, India and International Cooperation for Maritime Security, and the author of this book is Captain Himadri Das. Captain Himadri Das has authored this book by the title Building Partnership, India and International Cooperation for Maritime Security, and this book was recently released or inaugurated by the Vice President of India Jagdeep Dhankad. So, it is important from the point of view of exams to observe or to notice the name of the book or the title of the book and the author of the book, and also important is to recollect or to remember which personality has released or inaugurated the book. The author of the book, the title of the book and the personality who has released or inaugurated the book is also important to recollect. Now, let us discuss about the banking or economy and business news that were in news in the recent week. In its recently released 2024 India Economic Outlook report, Morgan Stanley Research has recently released its flagship report by the name 2024 India Economic Outlook. In this report, the Morgan Stanley research firm predicts that the Indian economy will experience a substantial growth around 6.5% for the financial year 23-24 and also 24-25. The investment bank Morgan Stanley attributes this positive outlook of the Indian economy to the resilient or the strong domestic macroeconomic fundamentals and strong corporate and financial sector balance sheets, and also the impact of the recent policy initiatives and policy reforms undertaken by the Government of India. So, the Morgan Stanley research firm, which is an investment banking firm, has recently released a report by the title 2024 India Economic Outlook, in which the firm has predicted the growth of the Indian economy at around 6.5% for the financial years 24 and 25. Not only this, this Morgan Stanley firm has attributed the positive economic growth outlook of India to the country's resilient or strong macroeconomic fundamentals and also the strong corporate and financial balance sheets and the impact of the recent policy initiatives and policy reforms that were undertaken and implemented by the Government of India. So, the Morgan Stanley research firm and its report India Economic Outlook 2024 was also in news recently. India's retail inflation, which is measured by the Consumer Price Index, has witnessed a 4-month low at 4.87%. So, the Consumer Price Index based retail inflation is 4.87%, which is a 4-month low. This 4.87% of CPI inflation is the result of a combination of supportive economic base and also a moderation in the non-food prices. So, the Consumer Price Index based inflation, retail inflation at 4.87% is the result of a combination of supportive or positive economic base and also a moderation in the non-food prices. This Consumer Price Index based retail inflation was decreased from 5.02% in September to 4.87% in November. However, despite this apparent relief, the economists still express some concerns and doubts about the underlying issues that may have an impact on the Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy Committee's decisions. But still, the economists are of the view that this CPI based retail inflation might still have an impact on the decisions that are taken by the Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy Committee. So, Consumer Price Index based retail inflation was 4.87% in the recently released report for November. The Association of Asia Pacific Airlines, the Association of Asia Pacific Airlines has recently announced a significant target or a groundbreaking target for its 14-member airlines, which also includes Air India in it. What is the target? To achieve 5% sustainable aviation fuel usage by 2030. The target that is set by the Association of Asia Pacific Airlines for its airliners is a 5% sustainable aviation fuel usage or SAF usage by 2030. SAF stands for Sustainable Aviation Fuel and the target is 5% of SAF usage by 2030. This move or this target aims at addressing the aviation industry's carbon emissions challenges and also it signals a significant demand for sustainable fuel production. So, this 5% sustainable aviation fuel usage demand by 2030 will address the industry's carbon emission challenges and also it signals a significant demand for sustainable fuel production for the aviation industry. So, the Association of Asia Pacific Airlines has set a target of 5% of sustainable aviation fuel usage by 2030, was also in news. In a significant leap forward for the telecommunications landscape in India, the Department of Telecommunications has granted Internet Service Provider licenses to Geo Satellite Communications and OneWeb. The Geo Satellite Communications and OneWeb were recently awarded the Internet Service Provider licenses by the Department of Telecommunications, and this decision or this event marks a significant leap forward for the telecommunications landscape in India. This development follows a year after both these companies, Geo Satellite Communications and OneWeb, have obtained permits to offer satellite communications services, which marked a crucial milestone in their efforts to revolutionize the internet connectivity. So, Geo Satellite Communications and OneWeb were recently granted permits to offer satellite communication services, which has marked a crucial milestone in their efforts to revolutionize the internet connectivity in India. And very recently, the Department of Telecommunications has granted Internet Service Provider licenses to Geo Satellite Communications and also OneWeb company was also in news. India's wholesale price index or WPI based inflation rate continued its downward trend, reaching a 3-month low at minus 0.52% in October. So the wholesale price index based inflation was minus 0.52% in the October. This marks the 7th consecutive month of deflation, with various factors contributing to the sustained negative trajectory. So this is the 7th consecutive month of deflation for the WPI based inflation, and a series of factors or a combination of factors have contributed towards the sustained negative trajectory of the WPI based inflation. In a groundbreaking move, Indus IND Bank has achieved the significant milestone of becoming the inaugural bank or the first bank to go live as a financial information provider. So Indus IND Bank has achieved a significant milestone in terms of becoming the first ever bank to go live as a financial information provider or FIP. So this event is in accordance with the recently introduced account aggregator framework that was released by the Reserve Bank of India. So as per the provisions of the account aggregator framework, which is recently released by the Reserve Bank of India, Indus IND Bank has become the first ever bank to go live as the financial information provider. So Indus IND Bank has gone live as financial information provider under the recently introduced account aggregator framework of the Reserve Bank of India. Was also in news. In a significant move, the Reserve Bank of India has issued a directive on November 15 instructing Bajaj Finance to cease their sanction and also disbursal of loans under two of its lending products, namely eCom and Insta EMI card. This immediate action or directive is a result of the company's non-adherence to the existing provisions outlined in the digital lending guidelines of the Reserve Bank of India. Due to the non-compliance of the Bajaj Finance Company to the digital lending guidelines of the Reserve Bank of India, the Reserve Bank of India has recently issued a directive on November 15 instructing the Bajaj Finance Bank to cease or to stop the sanction and also disbursal of loans under two of its lending products, namely eCom and Insta EMI card. So this Reserve Bank of India's directive to Bajaj Finance was also in news. In a groundbreaking move, Gas Authority of India Limited or GAIL, which is the country's leading gas firm, has successfully executed the world's first ship-to-ship liquefied natural gas transfer. The world's first ever ship-to-ship liquefied natural gas or LNG gas transfer was recently successfully completed by the Gas Authority of India Limited, which is the country's largest or leading gas firm. This innovative approach is aimed at reducing the shipping costs and also to cut down the emissions significantly, and this marks a pivotal moment for Gas Authority of India Limited as it tries to explore unconventional or untraditional methods to enhance its business operations. So Gas Authority of India Limited, GAIL, was also in news recently for conducting the successful first ship-to-ship LNG gas transfer. Also in news was the central government announcing a substantial reduction in Special Additional Excise Duty or SAED. The central government has recently announced a substantial reduction in the Special Additional Excise Duty or SAED on crude oil imports. So on crude oil imports, the central government has reduced the Special Additional Excise Duty or SAED. The tax, which was previously set at rupees 9,800 per ton, has been reduced by 35.7% to rupees 6,300 per ton. This adjustment in the additional excise duty reflects the Government of India's proactive response to the evolving or changing dynamics of the international crude oil prices. So, in a response to the changing or evolving international crude oil prices, the Government of India has recently reduced the special additional excise duty from 9,800 rupees per ton to 6,300 rupees per ton. So, this special additional excise duty was also in news recently. S&P Global in its latest report has forecasted robust economic growth for India in the medium term, and it has estimated the GDP growth ranging between 6 to 7.1% annually from the financial year 2024 through 2026. So, the S&P Global has in one of its latestly or recently released reports has forecasted or predicted the robust economic growth for the Indian economy in the medium term, and it has estimated the GDP growth to be in between 6 to 7.1% in the financial years 24 to 26. The Reserve Bank of India has identified the rising food prices as the primary challenge towards achieving its 4% consumer price index based inflation or retail inflation target, according to the State of the Economy report released by the RBI recently. So, one important observation that has to be made with respect to this news is the State of the Economy report. The State of the Economy report is released by the Reserve Bank of India. In this, the State of the Economy report, the Reserve Bank of India has identified that the rising food prices are the primary challenge towards achieving the benchmark 4% consumer price index based retail inflation target of the RBI that was set by the Government of India. So, the central bank, the Reserve Bank of India, anticipates potential disruptions to the progress that was already made in the past 2 months due to the firming up or the rising up of various constituent prices, and in that food prices is the primary challenge according to the State of the Economy report released by the RBI. The Reserve Bank of India has recently levied substantial monetary penalty of 90 lakh rupees on Axis Bank Limited. So, for what reason is this monetary penalty on Axis Bank was levied? The Reserve Bank of India has cited non-compliance with several key directives or guidelines issued by the Reserve Bank of India. The penalties were related to the Reserve Bank of India Know Your Customer Guidelines or Directions 2016. Also, the Loans and Advances Statutory and Other Restrictions, and also Guidelines on Managing Risks and the Code of Conduct in Outsourcing of Financial Services by the banks, and the Code of Conduct for Opening and Operating Current Accounts. So, the Reserve Bank of India has levied a monetary penalty of 90 lakh rupees on Axis Bank of India for violating the guidelines or the directives that are issued by the Reserve Bank of India under these 4 directions and guidelines. So, what are these 4 directions? The Reserve Bank of India Know Your Customer Directions 2016, Loans and Advances Statutory and Other Restrictions number 2, Guidelines on Managing Risks and Other and Code of Conduct in Outsourcing of Financial Services by Banks, and the 4th one is the Code of Conduct for Opening and Operating of Current Accounts. So, on the basis of the non-adherence or non-compliance to these directives and guidelines, the Reserve Bank of India has levied a monetary penalty on Axis Bank. In the initial 7 months of the financial year 23-24, that is from April to October, India's exports landscape has witnessed a noticeable dynamics with the Netherlands, the United Kingdom and Australia emerging as pivotal drivers or key drivers of the nation's outbound shipments or export-based shipments. So, in the 7 months of the financial year from April to October, it was identified that the Netherlands, the United Kingdom and Australia were emerging as the key drivers for the India's outbound shipments or exports. The preliminary data from the Commerce Ministry also underscores the positive impact of these markets of these three countries on the India's exports performance during this period. So, this preliminary data released by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry and Trade also has highlighted or underscored the positive impact of these markets on the performance of the India's export during the period from April to October. Indus IND Bank was also in news again. Indus IND Bank has taken a significant leap in the realm of digital payments by launching its groundbreaking initiative called the Indus IND Bank Platinum RuPay Credit Card. So, the Indus IND Bank has recently launched the Indus IND Bank Platinum RuPay Credit Card on the UPI platform. This collaboration of the Indus IND Bank with the National Payments Corporation of India or NPCI, this marks a pivotal moment in the evolution of the seamless and versatile digital payment options for the customers or online payment options for the customers. So, Indus IND Bank has recently launched the Indus IND Bank Platinum RuPay Credit Card. The Indus IND Bank has joined hands with the National Payments Corporation of India Limited, and this marks a pivotal or a positive moment in the evolution and development of seamless and versatile digital payment options for the customers. India's Directorate General of Foreign Trade or DGFT predicts a remarkable surge or increase in the country's e-commerce exports, and the Directorate General of Foreign Trade has also predicted a potential rise in the e-commerce exports from $1.2 billion currently to an impressive $200 billion within the next 6 to 7 years. The Directorate General of Foreign Trade has also shared these insights at the e-commerce exports conference that was organized by the FICCI, underlining the vast potential that is inherent in the India's e-commerce sector. So, the Directorate General of Foreign Trade has recently in one of the e-commerce exports conference organized by the FICCI has underlined the vast potential that is integral in the India's e-commerce sector, and the DGFT has predicted a remarkable increase in the country's e-commerce exports from a current of $1.2 billion to increasing to $200 billion within the next 6 to 7 years. So, this e-commerce exports was also in news. After having discussed about the business and economics news, now let us take a look at the appointments and resignations related news that was in news in the previous week. Rear Admiral Rajesh Dhankad has assumed command of the Eastern Fleet. Rajesh Dhankad, a Rear Admiral in the Indian Navy, has recently assumed the charge or the command of the Eastern Fleet, which is a significant and prestigious position within the Eastern Naval Command of the Indian Naval Force. So, Rajesh Dhankad has assumed the charge or the command of the Eastern Fleet within the Eastern Naval Command of the Indian Naval Army. so the Indian Naval Force. Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of UK or Britain, upon his recent return from Deepavali celebrations in his hometown of Southampton, UK, has made waves in the political landscape by resurrecting the political career of former UK Prime Minister David Cameron by appointing him as the Foreign Minister or the Foreign Secretary. So, the former Prime Minister of Britain, David Cameron, was recently appointed as the Foreign Secretary or the Foreign Minister by the Prime Minister of Britain, Rishi Sunak. So, David Cameron now is the Foreign Minister of the United Kingdom or Great Britain. United States President Joe Biden has recently announced several key appointments, including the notable selection of Indian American Shakuntala L. Bhaya to serve in a crucial role. According to the White House, Shakuntala L. Bhaya has been appointed as a member of the Council of the Administrative Conference of the United States. So, Shakuntala L. Bhaya, who is an Indian American, was recently appointed as a member of the Council of the Administrative Conference of the United States. So, the Council of the Administrative Conference of the United States and Shakuntala L. Bhaya was recently appointed as a member of this council by President Joe Biden. The Reserve Bank of India has given its approval for the appointment of key individuals as directors of Jio Financial Services. So, recently the Reserve Bank of India has appointed few of the individuals as directors of the Jio Financial Services. This marks a significant development in the leadership structures of the Jio Financial Services company. Isha Ambani, a prominent figure in the business world and a key player in the success of Reliance Retail, has been appointed as one of the directors of Jio Financial Services company. Another noteworthy addition to the board is Anshuman Thakur, a graduate in economics and an IIT Ahmedabad MBA graduate. The appointment of Hitesh Kumar Sethia as MD and CEO of RSIL, named as Reliance Strategic Investments Limited or RSIL, adds further strength to the leadership team of the company. So, these are the few of the appointments that were made to the Jio Financial Services company, and it has been approved by the Reserve Bank of India. The Board of Directors of Kotak Mahindra Bank Limited has made significant announcement on Friday by appointing Ashok Vaswani as MD and CEO and a key managerial personnel of the bank. So, recently the Board of Directors of the Kotak Mahindra Bank Limited has announced the appointment of Ashok Vaswani as the MD and CEO of the bank. So, Ashok Vaswani is the new MD and CEO of Kotak Mahindra Bank Limited. Niti Aayog, the eminent policy think tank of the Government of India, has recently added 4 new distinguished fellows to its ranks for a period of 1 year. Recently, 4 new distinguished fellows were appointed in the ranks of Niti Aayog, which is the eminent policy think tank of the Government of India, for a period of 1 year. These individuals are known for their extensive work experience and professional expertise in various domains and are expected to contribute significantly to addressing key social, economic and technological challenges that are currently facing the nation. Let us also discuss about the defense news. The 9th edition of the joint military exercise known as Exercise Mitra Shakti 2023 kicked off or commenced in the Aund of Pune. Running from November 16th to 29th, 2023, the Exercise Mitra Shakti 2023 aims at strengthening cooperation between the Indian and Sri Lankan military forces. So this military exercise, Exercise Mitra Shakti 2023 is a joint military exercise between the Indian and Sri Lankan military forces. Very important. Exercise Mitra Shakti 2023 is a joint military exercise between Indian and Sri Lankan military forces. Exercise Mitra Shakti 2023 represents a significant step in promoting collaboration and also understanding between the India and Sri Lanka military forces. It also emphasizes the importance or the significance of joint military efforts and modern techniques in addressing challenges, ultimately contributing towards the regional security and also stability. So, Exercise Mitra Shakti 2023 is a joint military exercise between the Indian and Sri Lankan military forces that was recently convened in the Aundh region of Pune. In which the Mitra Shakti exercise was conducted recently between the Indian and Sri Lankan military forces. On 16th of November 2023, a significant milestone in Indian Navy's capabilities was achieved as Amini, the fourth of the anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft project, was successfully launched at L&T shipbuilding in Kattupalli. So recently, a significant milestone in India's naval capabilities in the form of Amini, which is known as the fourth of the anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft or ASW SWC project that was launched recently by the Indian Navy, and the name of this project is Amini. It was launched at L&T shipbuilding in Kattupalli. The launch ceremony was presided over by the Vice Admiral Sandeep Naithani, Chief of Material, and this launch has showcased the culmination of efforts towards indigenous shipbuilding project. So Amini was in news. What is Amini? The fourth of the anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft. Anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft project, and the project is nicknamed as Amini. This is a significant milestone in the Indian naval capabilities as it is trying towards indigenous shipbuilding. So Amini was also in news. Some of the awards and recognitions that were in news recently. World-renowned author Salman Rushdie, who is celebrated for his groundbreaking works like the Satanic Verses, has recently received the inaugural Lifetime Disturbing the Peace Award. The Lifetime Disturbing the Peace Award from Václav Havel Center. Václav Havel Center has recently awarded the Lifetime Disturbing the Peace Award to world-renowned author Salman Rushdie. Egyptian activist Alaa Abdel Fattah was also honored or awarded with Disturbing the Peace Award for a courageous writer at risk during a ceremony that was recently held in November 14. So Salman Rushdie was awarded with the Lifetime Disturbing the Peace Award, and also Egyptian activist Alaa Abdel Fattah was honored with Disturbing the Peace Award for a courageous writer at risk during a ceremony that was held recently in November 14. Also in news was a groundbreaking achievement in which Pakistan-based clean tech startup by name SheGuard, Pakistan-based clean tech startup by the name SheGuard, was emerged victorious at the Climate Launchpad Asia Pacific Finals. So Pakistan-based clean tech startup by the name SheGuard has emerged victorious at the recently concluded Climate Launchpad Asia Pacific Finals by showcasing their innovative, biodegradable and plastic-free sanitary products. The SheGuard startup's mission is to transform the banana crop waste into affordable, eco-friendly and sustainable sanitary napkins, and also to address the interconnected challenges and problems of the climate change, public health and solid waste management in Pakistan. So SheGuard, which is a Pakistan-based clean tech startup, has recently become victorious in the Climate Launchpad Asia Pacific Finals for their innovative, biodegradable and plastic-free sanitary products. The mission of the startup is to transform the banana crop waste into affordable, eco-friendly sanitary napkins, also to address the interconnected challenges and problems of climate change, public health and solid waste management in Pakistan. The Maharashtra government has chosen the esteemed playback singer and national award winner Suresh Ishwar Wadkar as the recipient or awardee of the prestigious Gana Samragni Mangeshkar Award for 2023. So the most prestigious and famous Gana Samragni Lata Mangeshkar Award for 2023 was awarded to esteemed playback singer and national award winner Suresh Ishwar Wadkar of Maharashtra. The announcement was made by the Cultural Affairs Ministry of the Maharashtra government and also it has recognized Suresh Ishwar Wadkar's remarkable contribution to the world of music. So Gana Samaragni Lata Mangeshkar Award for 2023 was recently awarded to playback singer Suresh Ishwar Wadkar of Maharashtra. Jindal Southwest Infrastructure, which is a key player in the Indian port sector and a part of Jindal Southwest Group, has recently announced the reception of a letter of award for the development of state-of-the-art all-weather deep-water greenfield port at Keni in Karnataka. So this Jindal Southwest Infrastructure, which is a key player in the Indian port sector and also a part of Jindal Southwest Group, was recently awarded a letter of award for developing a state-of-the-art all-weather deep-water greenfield port at Keni in Karnataka. This port project is valued at 4,000 crore rupees and more, is set to be executed or operationalized through a public-private partnership. This significant development is also poised to enhance the maritime infrastructure and also boost the trade in the North Karnataka region. So this public-private partnership and this development is also expected to contribute to the enhancement or increase in the maritime infrastructure and also to boost the trade in the northern Karnataka region of the Karnataka state. The Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences has recently announced that Jimmy Kimmel will return as the host for the 96th Academy Awards in 2024, marking his second consecutive year and fourth overall. This decision comes after Jimmy Kimmel's successful stint in 2023, where the ceremony garnered over 18 million viewers, the highest since the pre-pandemic broadcast in 2020. So the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences. The Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences has announced that Jimmy Kimmel will return as the host for the 96th Academy Awards, which is scheduled in 2024. Also in news were few of the summits and conferences. We shall take a look at these summits and conferences which were in news. 33rd Conference of the World Organization for Animal Health. World Organization for Animal Health and 33rd Conference, Regional Commission for Asia and the Pacific. Regional Commission for Asia and Pacific, 33rd Conference was recently held from November 13th to 16th in the city of New Delhi. So the 33rd Conference of the World Organization of Animal Health, Regional Commission for Asia and the Pacific regions was recently held in the city of New Delhi. So the question is, the 33rd Conference of the World Organization for Animal Health, Regional Commission for Asia and Pacific was recently concluded in which of the following cities? This 33rd Conference of the World Organization for Animal Health, Regional Commission for Asia and Pacific was recently concluded in the city of New Delhi. Very simple, straightforward fact. The 42nd edition of the India International Trade Fair, India International Trade Fair 42nd edition in 2023 was kicked off at the Pragati Maidan in New Delhi. The esteemed event of India International Trade Fair will be inaugurated by Anupriya Patel, the Union Minister of State for Commerce and Industry. So the 42nd edition of the India International Trade Fair 2023 is kicked off at the Pragati Maidan in New Delhi. So New Delhi has hosted the 42nd edition of the India International Trade Fair. The 6th high-level meeting of the India OPEC Energy Dialogue, India OPEC Energy Dialogue, India OPEC Energy Dialogue and the 6th high-level meeting took place in November 2023 at the OPEC Secretariat in Vienna of Austria. At Vienna, Austria, which is the Secretariat of OPEC, the 6th high-level meeting of the India OPEC Energy Dialogue took place. The co-chairs of the meeting were Haitham Al-Ghayas, who is the Secretary General of the OPEC, and Hardeep Singh Puri, the Honorable Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas of Government of India. This 6th high-level meeting of the India OPEC Energy Dialogue was co-chaired by Secretary General of OPEC and the Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas of the Government of India, His Excellency Hardeep Singh Puri. And this high-level meeting of the India OPEC Energy Dialogue has taken place in Vienna, Austria, which is the headquarter for the Secretariat of OPEC. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is set to attend the 10th ASEAN Defence Ministers Meeting Plus. ASEAN Defence Ministers Meeting Plus, 10th edition in Jakarta of Indonesia. So this event is scheduled from November 16th to 17th. So the Defence Minister under the Government of India, Rajnath Singh, will attend the 10th edition of ASEAN Defence Ministers Meeting Plus, which is scheduled to be conducted at Jakarta, Indonesia. So 10th edition of ASEAN Defence Ministers Meeting Plus at Jakarta, Indonesia. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will attend the edition. In a landmark 4-hour meeting at the picturesque Filoli Estate near San Francisco, US President Joe Biden and China's Xi Jinping have engaged in discussions that spanned critical issues ranging from military conflicts to drug trafficking. So this meeting took place between the President of United States Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping in San Francisco. So they discussed wide-ranging issues from military conflicts to drug trafficking. This meeting has preceded the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum, adding significance to the deliberations and discussions that are scheduled to take place in this forum cooperation. So this meeting between these two leaders was preceded the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC forum, and this meeting has added more significance to the deliberations and discussions that were slated for discussion in the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum in United States of America. The 9th edition of the Indian International Science Festival. 9th edition of the Indian International Science Festival is set to be held at the campus of Translational Health Science and Technology Institute. So this Indian International Science Festival event is scheduled to be held at the campus of the Translational Health Sciences and Technology Institute and the Regional Center for Biotechnology in Faridabad of Haryana from 17th of January to 20th of January 2024. This mega science festival or fair promises a unique blend of scientific exploration, innovation and also public engagement. So the 9th edition of Indian International Science Festival is set to be held at the campus of the Translational Health Science and Technology Institute and the Regional Center for Biotechnology in Faridabad of Haryana in January 2024. The International Conference on Plant Health. The International Conference on Plant Health Management 2023 is set to take place in Hyderabad, India. So Hyderabad, the city of Hyderabad is scheduled to host the International Conference on Plant Health Management 2023 event. This event is scheduled to be held in November 15th to 18th, 2023. This significant event is organized by the Plant Protection Association of India, an institution with a rich legacy of over 50 years in advancing or promoting plant protection both nationally, regionally and internationally. So this International Conference on Plant Health Management 2023 is being organized by the Plant Protection Association of India. The Plant Protection Association of India. It is an institution which has a rich legacy of over 50 years in advancing plant protection both nationally and also internationally. And this event is scheduled for taking place in Hyderabad city of India. The recently concluded second Voice of Global South Summit. Voice of the Global South Summit and the second edition. Voice of the Global South Summit and second edition. It has marked a significant virtual gathering hosted by India on November 17th. So India is the host for the second edition of the Voice of the Global South Summit. It is a virtually held summit and India was the host. This summit is a follow-up to the January event showcased India's commitment to fostering collaboration among countries in Latin America, Asia, Africa and Oceania, collectively known as the Global South. This second Voice of the Global South virtual summit is a precursor to the or a follow-up to the January event, and this event has showcased India's commitment and dedication to fostering or promoting collaboration among the Global South countries, which includes the Latin American countries, Asian, African and Oceania countries, and these countries are togetherly and collectively called as the Global South. The inaugural summit or the first edition of the Voice of the Global South Summit with the theme of Energy Security and Development Roadmap to Prosperity has united over 125 nations to discuss shared perspectives in the preparation for the G20 Leaders Summit in September 2023. So the first edition of the Voice of the Global South Summit was held in 2022, and this first edition has united 125 nations to discuss their shared perspectives as a preparation for the G20 Leaders Discussion or Summit that's scheduled in 2023 September. So the second edition of the Voice of the Global South Summit, it has marked a significant virtual gathering that was hosted by India very recently in November. And Global South collectively is a group of countries from Latin America, Asia, Africa and also Oceania. Ranks and reports. Some of the ranks and also reports that were in news. The Small Industries Development Bank of India or SIDB has partnered with Jokata, which is a digital lending transformation platform. SIDB, in partnership with Jokata, has launched a groundbreaking initiative named Sampurna, which is a unique MSME Economic Activity Index. Sampurna is a unique MSME Economic Activity Index. This index aims at providing a real-time snapshot of the India's vital MSME sector. This MSME sector contributes significantly to the country's gross value added and also in terms of employment and exports. So, Small Industries Development Bank of India, SIDB, in partnership with Jokata, which is a digital lending transformation platform, has launched a significant initiative named Sampurna. Sampurna is a unique MSME Economic Activity Index. It is an unique MSME Economic Activity Index, and this index aims at providing a real-time snapshot of the India's vital MSME sector and its activities. This India's MSME sector contributes significantly to the country's gross value added, exports and also employment. The United Nations World Meteorological Organization or the UNWMO has issued a stark warning revealing that the greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere have reached unprecedented levels in 2022. The surge or the increase in the three primary culprits, namely carbon dioxide, methane and nitrous oxide, have set the stage for intensified climate impacts including soaring temperatures, extreme weather events and also rising sea levels. The United Nations World Meteorological Organization has issued a very stern warning by revealing that the greenhouse gas concentrations or the GHG gas emissions and their concentrations in the atmosphere have reached unprecedented levels in the year 2022. The surge in the three primary culprits, namely CO2 emissions, methane and nitrous oxide emissions, have set the stage for intensified climate impacts, which includes rising temperatures, extreme weather events and also rising sea levels. In a recent fund manager survey, FMS, conducted by the Bank of America, Japan and India have emerged as the most favored markets in the Asia Pacific region. India and Japan have emerged as the most favored market destinations in the Asia Pacific region according to the recently conducted fund manager survey by Bank of America. So, in a recently concluded fund manager survey by Bank of America, it was revealed that India and Japan were emerging as the most favored markets in the Asia Pacific region. The survey, fund manager survey, also revealed that Japan holds the top position with a net 45% overweight, followed by India at 25%. In contrast, Thailand, China and Australia are perceived as less attractive with net underweight figures of 13%, 9%,